The meeting is called to order for the regular City Council meeting, July 16, 2015. Madam Clerk, the pledge, please.
Councilman Bodier?
Present.
Councilman Benton?
Present.
Councilman Hewitt?
Present.
Councilman Johnston?
Present.
Councilman Wheeler is absent. Mayor Maselli?
Present.
Police Chief Walker?
Here.
Fire Chief St. Cyr is represented by Captain not Adams. Police Captain Benoit.
Present.
And City Attorney Anselmo.
Present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to make a few announcements before we get started today. I wanted to say that I'm happy to announce that 4 of the 5 sites for our sewer repairs are complete. We do have the surface restoration that remains to be done. Site number 5 is near the pump station number 3 at McHugh and Lancashire, so that's the last one to be done in that series. So I'm very happy to hear about that. Also, I just wanted to say I'm very pleased how we're progressing with the budget. I just want to reiterate my own personal philosophy about the budget and revenue and how we spend money and take money in. I think first and foremost, we must address our debt. And the city, it is important for us to get the debt paid down as quickly as possible while being very careful not to infringe on the needs of our citizens and to make sure we maintain our services. So that's our philosophy when we go to the budget and we have our meetings. So I want to stress that when we have recurring revenue, that revenue is put toward recurring bills. And one-time revenue is then, of course, put to one-time expenses. So that's what the goal is. We also have had the BP lawsuit. There was an article in the paper saying that we're in the final process of negotiations, and that is going to be a windfall to our city, I'm happy to say, and I'm pleased that it'll help us be more financially solvent. I see that we have Kirk Talbot in the audience, and I didn't know if you would like to come up and say anything. And
thank you, Mayor. Thank you, members of the council, citizens of Harahan. Just wanted to touch on a few things. You know, the legislative session ended last month. Thank God. It was a difficult session, but we managed to get through it. But in the capital outlay bill, I did want to discuss a few projects that got in the bill that will affect this area. We got $65,000 for the Magnolia Boulevard drainage from West Magnolia to Jefferson Highway. We got $55,000 for Penfold Place drainage. We got $2.75 million for the Riverside Senior Center planning and construction. $1.125 million for the Lafreniere Park Marsh Island restoration in Lafreniere Park. And then $50,000 to expand the Jefferson Community Health Center and River Ridge facility to implement a dental program. Also, you had mentioned y'all's BP oil spill, and congratulations on y'all's settlement. For the state, we got $6.8 billion was what we agreed to. Basically, how that money is going to be broken up. In 2014, we passed a law to say, look, when we get this money, we're going to spend it on certain things. It's not going to just go into the general budget where it can be, manipulated and spent in other ways where it doesn't need to be. But a lot of it's going to go, about 45% of that will go to the budget stabilization fund. About another half will go to, about another 45% to the Medicaid trust fund for the elderly, and about 10% of that to the health trust fund. So that's where the money's going to be spent. It's in statute, so lack of a better term, the politicians can't get a hold of it and spend it on things that don't need to be spent on. But, you know, I wish we could have gotten more in capital outlay, but as y'all know, it was a difficult year, and it was really fortunate to get anything. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything.
Well, I'd personally like to thank you on behalf of Harahan, our residents, our council, for all your hard work. Your office has been strategic in helping this administration, looking for funding, helping us close out forms to
Sure.
from past years to help us even recoup more money. So you've been priceless.
Well, I appreciate
would be
it.
the right
Very
word.
welcome.
So thank
Very
you
welcome.
very, very much.
Thank you. Anyone else have a question? I'd be glad to answer.
Film in this area is key,
Right.
and I don't think we ended up on a good side of where we should have been there. What are your thoughts, and, you know, why did we cap it where we capped it? And
You know, I think they went a little overboard on it. I think there was some necessary legislation to deal with some of the fraud. You know, there was some issues with that. I think, you know, it was going to get capped no matter what. I was not in favor of the $180 million cap.
Right.
Thought it should have been higher. That being said, next year will be another year, and and next year we won't be able to deal with tax credits, but we can do it the following year. But there will be a special session. Every gubernatorial candidate is saying we'll have a special session sometime in February to address our economic and our financial situation. But, you know, in 2 years, it'll be, I think the more data that comes in on the benefits of the film industry, it can always be ratcheted back up.
Yeah.
But I think there was maybe a little of an overcorrection. I think there needed to be a little bit of a correction. I don't think anybody foresaw the amount of money in credits that we're going to get spent in the amount of this industry has grown. And I think a lot of legislators outside of this city that may not understand what the benefits are, it was an easy target. And unfortunately, in a tough budget year, you know, what happened is what happened. But, you know, we need to, every year that goes by, we get a better understanding on how this industry is affecting the economy. And the more information we have, I think the better off we'll be in 2 years to increase that cap and to tweak it even better.
I mean, you know, Atlanta's got 2 new film studios, actually one of the biggest ones in the country. Fantastic Four is Marvel is taking.
Right.
And so they're building another one.
Right.
We make no moves in that direction, you know, to entertain film, and now we cap tax credit. And I know I do a lot with film, and I know I
Right.
know a lot of people with, you know, with film, and it just was, it's hard, you know, and then to wait 2 years is
Right.
going to be brutal. And I mean,
Well,
I hear
and-
the same
and-
thing. We got an election at the end of the year.
Right.
We'll have a new governor, bring in a new fiscal session, but
Right, and maybe we can address those in a special session, because I know that we'll be dealing with taxes, but I think the film industry will be much more organized than they were this year and have more data available. And, you know, there was just, it was just a tough year.
And I
You
say
know,
so
and
much
it
about
was-
it only because it sits right at our border.
Oh, I know.
It sits right at the city's border, and we do get, you know, whether we see it or not, I guarantee there are even
Right.
restaurants here, you know,
Right.
buying gas here, and we are seeing, you know, an impact
Right.
from it.
I agree. I agree. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to just reiterate, our capital outlay, Tier 1 is for a total of 90,000.
I think so, yes. I
So
think that's
that's
correct.
wonderful news again. So
Well-
here in Harahan, we'll feel some of those
Great.
results. So
Thank
thank you again. No special presentations, correct?
Correct, yes, ma'am.
Before we do address the council, I just want to say a few words before we start. We are trying to usher in, we want everyone to get along in this community, feel free to express their opinions. So I want to lead from example and always be respectful to the residents when we talk to them and when we talk to each other. So that's my own personal philosophy. I ask everyone, please, everyone is welcome to address the council. We just want to make sure that we are polite to each other from all sides. And if you feel that that is never if it's not reflected from here, I'd like to hear from you. So at this point, I would like to know, would anyone like to address the council? Please come to the podium and state your name and your address if you don't mind.
My name is Majine Casnave. I live at 46 Oak
Nicole,
Avenue.
can you check her mic, please?
Is this all right? My name is Majine Casnave. I live at 46 Oak Avenue.
We're not rolling? Thank you.
Is it on?
Yeah, there you are.
I'm sorry.
Okay. My name is Majine Casnave. I live at 46 Oak Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana. Since January the 1st, this council has held 6 special meetings in addition to the 7 regular meetings. 2015 budget was adopted at a special meeting. I addressed you then, and now that the BP settlement and insurance figures are in, I want to restate what I had said then. Mayor Mosca left the city with a $1.3 million deficit and another $650,000 in unpaid bills. And that doesn't include the $4 million that was borrowed to improve the sewer plant and the system. Yet, no complaint was made by Mr. Baudier and Ms. Hewitt, who were on that council. The only councilman to question Mr. Mosca and try to make it better was Cindy Murray. We can only hope that the $600,000 from BP will go to pay off some of these debts. Most citizens do not realize the financial problems the city is facing because they don't come to the council meetings. They can watch it on TV when Cox airs and repeats of the meeting. But since you keep scheduling special meetings where there are no cameras to record the vote, they still won't know the situation. You all ran on transparency, but transparency doesn't seem to matter since you were elected. Our fire and police departments are unfunded in this budget because of monetary constraints. But now, 3 of the councilmen want the city to pay for their health insurance, which is not funded in this budget. So tonight, you are introducing an ordinance to make yourselves full-time employees, since the city does not offer insurance to any part-time employees. Since the 3 of you have full-time jobs now, are you going to quit your jobs and become full-time employees of the city and work 40 hours a week? Giving yourself insurance at our expense results in a minimum increase of 63% to your $950 a month salary, which means your salary would be raised to $1,519.23 a month, a raised percentage that is unheard of in the private sector. And since 2 councilmen have opted out of the insurance, what happens to their salaries? Will they be increased too? If that's the case, which departments are going to be cut in order for you to benefit yourselves? If you ran for this office for the benefits, you did it for the wrong reasons. Put Harahan first. Use the insurance from your companies or your jobs and give the departments what they need to protect us, our property, and our city. And don't even think about imposing new taxes, because if this council won't do their part to help the city, why should we? Thank you.
Good evening. Eric Chatelain, 700 Colonial Club Drive. I come here tonight because we don't have a full council. I'm going to ask for my ordinance to be deferred until we have a full council. Do we have any comments? So I'll ask for it to be deferred. And if we can have that, that would be great. So that's what I'm up here for to address.
Y'all need to do anything?
State your name and address,
My name is
please.
John Ream. I live at 3 Ren Pass in Harahan. And I came last meeting and brought up the thing about the sand coming over the levee from the dump trucks running up and down the road back there. I think, if nothing else, it's a nuisance, but a potential health hazard for the bikers that are on the bike trail on the levee, and people that walk, and people in the neighborhoods. That part of the section has sprinklers behind the levee, from Hickory Street to Chrislaw. There's a sprinkler system, and it's functional. The part from Ren Pass to Bailey has never worked. And thank the Lord we had some rain, and it stopped a lot of the sand, but we still have that problem. And is there anything that could be done? I know we had talked about
I'm-
last week.
I'm asking anyone who has a concern, to please email me, because I don't want to speak for you. I'd rather your own words speak for you. I am meeting with Mr. Wingate, who is the civilian equivalent of the Colonel of the Army Corps of Engineers, to address the concerns of our city. And I would love to represent your concerns, and if you would like to, I do have that on my list, but coming from a resident means a lot, so if you would send that to me. I can give you my email address after the city council.
We had talked, well, I talked to the levee board, some of the officers that were up there, and they were saying, well, they don't own that property back there, but I thought they had to lease it from the levee board. But he said, no, that Wood, I think it's Wood Dredging, whatever it is, that has that land back there. But somebody should be responsible for doing something to get rid
There's
of that
many
sand.
agencies and residents and businesses, so I'd love for you to help me represent you well. I have that issue on my list, but like I said, if you would send it to me, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Rhonda Bagby. First off, Mayor Maselli, Councilman Johnson, Council Lady Benton, Chief Walker, and our councilman from Jefferson Parish. First off, I would like to personally thank each and every one of you all for the help that you have given the elderly. That is what I do. I work with the elderly, and you all are true warriors. Please keep the help coming. And what I want to say is I've never heard of anybody voting to give themselves a full-time employment. I think it should be put to the citizens to vote on it. And I would strongly suggest that Tim Bodier and Dana Udy learn how to try to get along. And if you can't get along with the council, we need to have the recall now. And lastly, this is to Ms. Quinlan. You are here to report facts and be neutral. And if you can't do it, then maybe we need to have another reporter here.
Hi, I'm Terry Valenti, 191 Colonial Club Drive, Harahan. I'm going to be very brief because I'm really just reiterating things that I've spoken to in the past. One is the substandard size lots vote. We appreciate our large lots. I think that we've worked very hard and diligently over the years to create a plan for our city, and I'm very saddened to see attempts to create substandard lots. I don't think that's fair, and I'm here on behalf of the residents of Oak Street. I don't live on Oak Street. I live in another neighborhood who has been adversely affected by zoning changes, and I just want to say that I hope that we don't set a precedent for making substandard lots in Harahan. The second thing is the insurance for the council is just a ridiculous proposition. I know that Councilman Wheeler and Councilman Bodier spoke when the mayor first found an alternative plan that would save the city money, that the city could afford. They balked at it, and they used as their argument that they provide insurance for their employees at their own personal companies. They both drive really expensive vehicles. Now, that might not be pertinent, except to take money away from our police and fire department and city employees who just need and would appreciate and deserve raises, to fund our part-time council members' insurance policies is ridiculous. They touted how wonderful they were to their employees. So why is it that they are coming here maybe 2 months later and wanting to be put on those policies? And I think that we need to hold them accountable. I mean, this is just not done. They are part-time employees. Let's take care of our full-time employees. Let's take care of the employees who work full-time, don't have other jobs and other means to provide for their family. Please do not add part-time employees, and don't let them do their smoke and mirrors and call themselves full-time employees, because everyone in this room knows they're not full-time employees. Thank you.
We will now address the council.
Approval of minutes. I'm sorry.
We make a motion to amend the agenda, to let Chief Walker, give his report.
Do I have a motion to amend the agenda for the police
Have a
chief to
motion
give
with a
his?
second?
Second.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Benton, second by Councilman Hewitt, all approved.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays, motion passes.
Thank you. This is a monthly report for June 2015. There were a number of calls for service for 648. We had 10 accidents reported. There was 94 citations issued with 121 charges. 1 funeral escort, 15 patrol requests, 71 arrests for a total of 114 charges. 10 traffic, 15 felony, 78 misdemeanors, and 11 city charges. And crimes in the city, we had 2 residential burglaries, 7 larceny thefts, and 12 assaults. I'd like us to make a little presentation. This past month was very good for the police department. Sure, public. Yeah. Earlier this month, Cub Scout Pack 33 from St. Paul's Methodist presented us with 11 of these hand-drawn thank you notes. And then the next day, I received a packet of over 500 thank you notes. If you remember earlier this year, Crime Stoppers had the program, and this little girl came in from New Mexico, and she was having thank you notes from around the country. We had over 500 that were issued to us. And we're very, very grateful for them, that we distributed to the officers, the full-time and reserve members of our department, and we're very appreciative of their thoughts. And their artwork was just fantastic, with some of the ideas that they came up with. And we're very grateful. So, all right, I'm sticking them up here. Thank you.
Do you mind if we keep that in the city council for
Yeah,
for a
that's
while?
fine, yeah. And we'll distribute the other ones. Unless y'all have any questions.
I feel like I need to draw something for you and tell you thank you. That's wonderful. That's
Yeah,
a beautiful
I mean,
tribute
these
that you
young
got.
People put a lot into it, and a lot of talent. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. So we can resume the agenda. Do we have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
I'm sorry, first for the reading of the minutes. I didn't let you announce
Oh,
it.
that's okay. Just reading of the minutes of the council meeting on June 18th.
Do we have a motion to dispense with the reading of those minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Hugh, but, sorry, Benton. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on June 18th.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Reading of the minutes of the special meeting on June 24th.
Do we have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded
Second.
by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
We have, any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Approval of the minutes of the special meeting on June 24th.
Do we have a motion to approve, is what you said? I want
Yes,
to make
ma'am.
sure, okay.
Approve.
Approve the
Motion.
minutes. Have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Communications, the Board of Adjustments and Appeals did not meet in June, and reading of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Board on July 1st.
Do we have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston,
Second.
second by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Approval of the minutes of the Planning and Zoning Board on July 1st.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
We have no resolutions tonight,
Okay.
and ordinance number 1 for approval. The
Mayor, I'm going to make a motion to defer on ordinance number 1.
We're,
Second.
we have a motion to defer. By Councilman Bodier, seconded by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed?
Nay.
We have 2 yeas, 2 nays. It fails, motion fails.
The only reason why I asked for the motion is because I've been working with Councilman Chatelain, trying to find,
We're not-
and trying to work to find an alternative to see what we can come up with, and not giving him a fair timing. And then also Councilman Benton and I had spoke, and, we think that timing, we should wait to see, maybe there might be better offers on the table. We want to see if this is the only offer that's ever going to come. And then, at the same time, working with Eric Chatelain, to maybe come up with a better idea, give him an opportunity to still meet and talk to the citizens and do his best that he can to sell his project. I think not giving him the opportunity to defer, is not fair.
Thank you for expressing your concerns. City Clerk? We proceed with the ordinance and the vote, correct?
Correct.
So, Madam Clerk, if you'd like, correct.
The following ordinance was introduced by Councilman Hewitt and seconded by Councilman Bodier. An ordinance approving the re-subdivision of 965 Oak Avenue, lots 16, 17, 18, 19, Square V, Harahan subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Gilbert, Kelly, and Katori Incorporated, dated March 15, 2015. Whereas Oscar Rourke, the owner of lots 16, 17, 18, and 19, Square V, Harahan subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, having petitioned this governing body to re-subdivide these lots into lots 17A, 18A, and 19A, as shown on the plan of Gilbert, Kelly, and Katori dated March 15, 2015. Whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Harahan did recommend said plan of re-subdivision as indicated thereon, now therefore be it ordained by the Mayor and the City Council of the City of Harahan that the plan of re-subdivision of lots 16, 17, 18, and 19, Square V, Harahan subdivision, made by Gilbert, Kelly, and Katori, dated March 15, 2015, re-subdividing lots 16, 17, 18, and 19 into lots 17A, 18A, and 19A, Square V, Harahan subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, and the same hereby approved. The Mayor of the City of Harahan is authorized and empowered to affix her signature to the said plan of re-subdivision and to execute any and all documents necessary to fully implement this ordinance. The severability and repeal clause, as referenced in ordinance number 1566, is incorporated into this ordinance. This ordinance having been considered section by section and as a whole, a vote was taken, and the vote was as follows.
Do I have a motion to open a public hearing?
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Hewitt. Thank you. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. We will open this ordinance, to speak to this ordinance, to public hearing. Would anyone like to please come up? Please state your name and your address.
Lori Dominguez, 953 Oak Avenue. As I have stated on all the occasions before, I am opposed to the re-subdivision into 3 40-foot lots. We're still talking about budget and money again, and I still feel that you would get higher tax revenue if you had 2 50 or 60-foot lots than if you had 3 40-foot lots. And as far as deferring, it's been deferred and deferred and deferred. It needs to be resolved. Thank you.
Eric Chatelain, 700 Colonial Club Drive. This piece of property right now pays $15 a year to the city of Harahan as a church. We could reopen it as a church, and the city of Harahan could collect $15 a year. Ms. Benton is a licensed real estate appraisal. If you think an abandoned church is bringing the property value up to that neighborhood more than 3 brand-new homes, I need you to sit down with me one day and explain it to me. Of course, we're not going to get a deferral tonight. I don't have a full council. The smoke and mirrors was set. Ms. Wheeler is going to be out of town. They set it to fall here. They asked for a special meeting where we'd have all of the council members. So I'm going to ask to pull this ordinance, if that's legal.
Withdraw your application?
Withdraw my application.
Is that?
Well, Mr. Chatelain is most certainly entitled to withdraw his application, but as far as its effect on the vote as to whether or not this ordinance passes or fails, it's going to have no effect for tonight. So the vote on this ordinance has to proceed tonight.
The vote on this ordinance has to proceed tonight.
Mr. Anselmo, just a question. My name is on here sponsoring, and Councilman Baudier is second. Can I ask to withdraw? And what are the ramifications of that, if you could explain?
Well, I think at this point, it may be too late to withdraw. I mean, I know we tried to defer, and by we, the city tried to defer the vote on this. I'd have to look in to see as to whether or not you can withdraw it at this time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that in prior council meetings, councilmen have the ability to table or withdraw. I've seen it happen. I don't remember all of the details surrounding it and how it occurred, but I was just, since the person who made the application is requesting that, I didn't know if there was something that I could do since my name is on the ordinance.
I don't have, I guess, just the the law in front of me as to really make a decision for this instance. I mean, this is just sort of a last-minute thing.
Will we be able to take a recess where you can do the research?
If we can do that, that would help a lot.
That's a good request.
And so, yeah, if we could do that and just give me 10 minutes, I'll be able to provide an answer.
Well, I motion to take a 10-minute recess so we get a
Seconds.
Do I have a motion to recess?
motion.
A motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion for recess for 10 minutes passes. Thank you, City
Thank you.
Attorney.
Code of Ordinances. Sure. After reviewing Robert's Rules of Order as well as the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance, it is my opinion that Councilman Hewitt, who has introduced this ordinance, has the authority to withdraw this ordinance prior to a vote on whether or not it passes.
Is there, to clarify, is there any waiting period before the ordinance can come back to
Well,
to
The
city
CZO
council?
provides that if final action is taken, then you have to wait a year. However, a withdrawal of this ordinance would not constitute final action, is simply withdrawing the current ordinance.
And if you
proposed
withdraw the
ordinance.
current ordinance, does it have to go back up for first reading?
Yes,
Okay, I'm just clarifying everything. Okay, thank you.
thank
And
you.
I have one question about it too. With withdrawn, do they have to start from the very beginning and reapply before it goes to ordinance?
This ordinance, this proposed ordinance isn't the application.
Right.
So the application, that's a separate matter. So should that be withdrawn, well then, that's a separate matter than this proposed ordinance being withdrawn. So withdrawing one does not undo the other. So basically, withdrawing tonight's ordinance, should that happen, has no effect on the current application.
Councilman Hewitt? I would like to withdraw the ordinance. Ordinance is withdrawn.
We got to vote on it.
Do we have to, what? No, we don't need a vote to withdraw. Madam Clerk?
Ordinance number 2 for approval. The following ordinance was offered unanimously by the council. An ordinance levying a tax of 13.93 mils on each dollar of assessed valuation on all taxable properties in the city of Harahan for the year 2015.
Can you hold on just a moment while I try and fix this?
Is that yours?
Yes, it is. I got the worst one.
Get ready.
Maybe turn it off.
sorry, I
Maybe turn it off. Do not use
Might blow up.
Okay.
It worked it out.
For the year 2015 and authorizing the tax collector to collect the said taxes on all the taxable property within the incorporated limits of the city of Harahan and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Harahan, parish of Jefferson, state of Louisiana, in a public meeting held on July 16, 2015, which meeting was conducted in accordance with the open meetings law and the additional requirements of the article of the Louisiana Constitution in RS 47-1705B, that there is hereby levied a tax of 13.93 mils on each dollar of assessed valuation on all taxable property in the city of Harahan for the year 2015. Be it further ordained by the council of the city of Harahan, acting as the governing authority of said city in the sewage district number 1 of the city of Harahan, state of Louisiana, that the following ad valorem tax be hereby levied on all taxable property in the city of Harahan, state of Louisiana. 2015 levy, total tax 13.93 mils. Be it further ordained by the Council of the City of Harahan that the tax collector of the City of Harahan is hereby authorized to extend said tax on the assessment rolls of the City of Harahan for the year 2015, and she is further authorized to collect said tax on all property within the incorporated limits of the City of Harahan. Be it further ordained by the Council of the City of Harahan that when any taxpayer fails to pay the tax or any portion thereof on or before the day when it is required to be paid, interest at the rate of 1% per month shall be added to the amount of the tax due, and such interest shall be computed from January 1, 2016 until the tax is paid. The interest provided for herein shall be an obligation to be collected and accounted for in the same manner as if it were part of the tax due, and can be enforced in a separate action or in the same action for collection of the tax. The severability and repeal clause, as referenced in ordinance number 1566, is incorporated into this ordinance. This ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Do I have a motion to open to public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Bodier, seconded
I'll
by
second.
Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Would anyone like to come and address the council on this ordinance from the public?
I'm Barbara Pitera, 416 Carolyn Drive. Is this, what was the amount of the, did the millage go up? Did it increase?
Because of the, yes,
The
ma'am.
fire department.
The fire department, it went from 13.87, and this will be to 13.93 if approved.
Okay, I thought that was all it went up was 5 mils.
No,
Point
not 5 mils. No,
Not
it went
five.
from 4.94 mils to 5 mils, the fire. So, from 13.87 to 13.93.
Okay, just wanted to know.
Nicole,
Yes, ma'am.
do you mind repeating that so the public can hear it, just so that that's clarified?
So it went up 0.5.
Oh, shit. Yes, ma'am. It went up 0.5 because the fire renewal passed at 5 mils. It was at 14.94 for 2014 taxes, and it passed in March at 5 mils. So it brought the millage from 13.87 to 13.93.
Thank you very much. Would anyone else like to address the council on this ordinance? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by
Second.
Councilman Johnson, second by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes.
Does the,
I know.
does the council want to discuss?
Do I, let's see.
Does the council want to discuss?
Thank you. I've
Yes, ma'am.
lost track. Thank you. Would the council like to discuss this ordinance? Would anyone like to speak to it?
No discussion.
No discussion? Thank you. We will proceed with the vote. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Ordinance passes.
Alrighty. In ordinance number 3 for approval, let's see. The following ordinance was proposed unanimously by the council. An ordinance adopting the annual budget of revenue and expenditures for the sewage department for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2015 for the city of Harahan, Louisiana. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the city of Harahan, state of Louisiana, acting as governing authority of said city, that the below estimate of revenue and expenditures reflected in the summary herein be and the same is hereby adopted to serve as the budget of revenue and expenditures for the city of Harahan for the fiscal year January 1st, 2015 through December 31st, 2015. The adoption of this budget amendment shall form the framework for monitoring revenue and control expenditures as required by LRS 391310. Attached hereto made part hereof and marked Schedule 1 as a line item budget. The total revenue for sewage operation maintenance, $828,197. Total expenditures, $904,461. The severability and repeal clause is referenced in ordinance number 1566 is incorporated into this ordinance. This ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Do I have a motion to open to public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by
Second.
Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays, motion passes. Would anyone like to speak from the public about this ordinance? Would anyone like to come up to the podium? We will now close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded by
Second.
Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Would the council like to discuss this ordinance?
No discussion.
No discussion?
No discussion. We will proceed with the vote. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance passes.
All right, ordinance number 4. The following ordinance was proposed unanimously by the council. An ordinance adopting a budget for the sales tax fund for the city of Harahan, Louisiana for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2015. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the city of Harahan, state of Louisiana, acting as a governing authority of said city, that the below estimate of revenue and expenditures reflected in the summary herein be and the same hereby adopted to serve as a sales tax fund for the city of Harahan for the fiscal year December 31st, 2015. The adoption of this budget amendment shall form the framework for monitoring revenue and control expenditures as required by LRS 391310. Attached hereto made part of and marked Schedule 1 is the line item budget. Revenues, $1,255,123, and total transfer out $1,255,123. The severability and repeal clause as referenced in ordinance number 1566 is incorporated into this ordinance. This ordinance having been submitted to a vote, the vote thereon was as follows.
Do I have a motion to open to public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Johnston, seconded
Second.
by Councilman Hewitt. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Would anyone from the public like to come to the podium and speak on this ordinance? Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman
Second.
Johnson, second by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. Would the council like to discuss this ordinance?
No discussion.
No discussion?
We will proceed with the vote. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Ordinance passes.
All right, ordinance number 1 for introduction. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Bodier. An ordinance providing that the Harahan Municipal Code be supplemented to fix the compensation of the elected public officials of the city of Harahan as required by Louisiana Revised Statutes 33404.1. Ordinance number 2. The following ordinance was introduced by Councilman. Who would like to introduce this
I'll
one?
take
Hewitt. An ordinance approving the re-subdivision of lots A and B2, Square 1, Jefferson Court Subdivision, City of Harahan, Parish of Jefferson, State of Louisiana, made by Gilbert Kelly and Katori Incorporated, dated March 19th, 2015. And ordinance 3. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Hewitt. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1080 to allow individual City of Harahan council members to place items of business on the agendas of regular and/or special meetings of the City of Harahan. Old business, there's no old business, no new business, and address the council.
Would anyone from the public like to address the council at this time? We will now address the council.
Okay, Secretary's report for June. Revenues, $579,897.55. Almost there.
Report.
And reports, yes, ma'am.
Chief Walker's already given his report. Chief St. Cyr is no report today. Okay, thank you. Councilman Bodier,
No report?
Councilman Hewitt.
I don't have a report, Mayor, but just wanted to bring something to your attention. I don't know if you're aware of it. A few citizens have brought to my attention over the last few weeks when they go to the city website, when they choose council, it only says we meet the third Thursday at 7:30, but we used to have our names, our email address, our personal
We're
cell phone.
addressing that.
Okay.
We're gonna, I've actually got in contact with someone to address those very issues. And
Okay.
if you'd like, we'll talk specifically, and
Sure.
we'd like to design everything for everyone to make it so that you'd like
Be
it.
glad to help. That's all I have.
Councilman Johnston?
Yeah, as I state every council meeting, anybody wants to contact me for any reason, contact me 504-259-5763. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman Wheeler is not here. Councilman Benton? I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. I am so proud of the posters that were presented tonight by our police chief with such sincere thanks for all the hard work you do.
Oh, we do?
That's a beautiful sentiment to be expressed, so I'm very proud of that as a citizen. So thank you.
Ready? Bills paid in June, $867,202.62. And executive session, we have the Scalise lawsuit.
Do I have a motion to enter into executive session?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman Hewitt, seconded by
Second.
Councilman Johnston. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Any opposed? We have 4 yeas, 0 nays. Motion passes. The city council and myself and the city attorney will now go into executive session for the purpose to discuss a suit with the city, and we will be back hopefully very shortly. So we will appreciate your patience during this time.
All right, and adjourn.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
I have a motion by Councilman
Second.
Johnston, seconded by Councilman Bodier. All in favor?
Yay.
Any opposed? I have 4 yeas, 0 nays. We are adjourned, and again, everyone, thank you for your patience for waiting. Thank you.